Hello guys, thank you so much for coming back to watch another video on my channel. Last year in June 2023 we had Capcom Showcase where we've seen a lot of announcements apart from upcoming Resident Evil titles. Yes, we've seen Resident Evil 4 Remake VR mode, but it wasn't a new upcoming title. Now we know we're gonna get another Capcom Showcase in June 2024 where Capcom is gonna announce Resident Evil 9 more than likely, but there are multiple Resident Evil projects currently in development, so which remake we could expect to see at this showcase? Well, let's find out together in this video. If you end up liking this video, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe because I love making this sort of content for you guys. Now we know that for sure that Capcom is working hard on some sort of a remake because they did confirm themselves that they will continue to make remakes within Resident Evil franchise. And there has been rumors which confirm that there are multiple Resident Evil projects which are currently in development, including Resident Evil 9. So we can safely assume that one of those titles would be a remake. And I also just heard a recent rumor which confirms that Resident Evil 9 might be delayed and there might be another remake which might take its place for 2025. But just a disclaimer, I'm not a leaker and I'm not leaking any information. All I'm doing is a discussion around this topic because I do personally think there are two games which are contender to be released for 2025. Another game which I personally think has the most chance is Resident Evil Code Veronica remake, because I know I've covered quite a lot on my channel about this remake. This is one of the most anticipated games within this franchise. Now Capcom has always been eyeing on remaking this game, but weren't sure if it would be a financial success because it wasn't as popular as the numbered Resident Evil title we've seen within this franchise. Now recently they've done a poll which confirmed which next remake you would love to see, and the majority of people have said about Code Veronica remake. And there was a leak rumor which I covered a video about it, that back in November 2023 someone actually played a sort of a demo for Resident Evil Code Veronica remake, and he confirmed that he played an earlier segment of this remake which is currently in development. So if we take that information with a grain of salt and let's say we believe on that leak, that it means the Code Veronica remake has been in development for a couple of years. So 2025 sounds like a more realistic year when we can expect to actually see Code Veronica remake. Then also if you look at the sales of the previous Resident Evil titles, Resident Evil 2 remake is the most beloved according to the sales, as last year it reached top 5 games of all time and now even beaten Resident Evil 7 with 13.6 million sales worldwide. So if you take Resident Evil 5's total sale, which is around 14.4 million, that means Resident Evil 2 Remake is the second highest selling game out of this franchise. So if you played original Resident Evil Code Veronica, you would know that Resident Evil Code Veronica actually is a true sequel to the events of Resident Evil 2. So if you look at Resident Evil Code Veronica, it plays very similar to Resident Evil 2 Remake with a lot of backtracking compared to Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 4 Remake, because they play in a different style. Even though they have very similar protagonists and very similar mechanics, the game pacing is different compared to Resident Evil 2 Remake. So if Capcom can fine-tune backtracking in Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake and make it more aligned to Resident Evil 2 Remake, which can also turn out to be a financial success for them if it plays very similar to the Resident Evil 2 Remake template. However, there's another game which has high possibility and a lot of people are not looking at it. That's Resident Evil 5 Remake. Just as I said before, Resident Evil 5 has sold nearly 15 million copies worldwide, still being the highest selling Resident Evil title to date. So there's a lot of people who've played and enjoyed this game, just like Resident Evil 4 was, and Resident Evil 4 Remake turned out to be the fastest selling game at the moment due to the popularity we've seen with the original Resident Evil 4. So the same thing can be said about Resident Evil 5, even though it was a polarizing game and it wasn't the top favorite game out of the franchise. However, it still was a very fun game to play with the iconic characters like Chris and Albert Wesker. When we know at the end of Resident Evil 4 Remake, it was actually hinted at what Albert Wesker is actually planning to do, and we've seen him more with the DLC, whereas Ada's campaign, he played a very integral role in that. So it makes a lot of financial sense for them to remake this game when we already now familiar with Chris. We've seen him with Resident Evil Village. Now we also seen the newer model of Albert Wesker. We also seen Jill Valentine. So there's a lot of potential of bringing all those characters again in the 5 remake by redoing the game, making more horror and playing to the similar themes we've seen with the Resident Evil 5. So I do personally think these two games has a higher chance of getting announced this year. I would love to see a remake of the original Resident Evil 1 because that's one of my favourite games of all time. So we'll wait and see that which remake will be announced at Capcom's event. So what do you think about the next remake which will be announced? Do you think Resident Evil Code Veronica remake has a chance or Resident Evil 5 remake has a chance? Please do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below in this video. And that's it for the video guys. I'll catch you again with another video on my channel. Until then, look after yourself. Have a good one.